Hey friends, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we are driving in the car. I'm actually just going to be in the car for like 5 minutes and then we're going to move this party to the hot tub because I'm dog sitting tonight, which means I had to go to the garden center, aka the dispensary. Why did we start saying gardening? I didn't have TikTok for like 6 months, and then when I got back on TikTok, everyone was referring to smoking the devil's lettuce as gardening. I don't know if that was like a new thing, but now every time I say gardening, I feel like it makes me sound like I'm chronically online, but that's like what everyone says now, it seems like, and I think it's funny. I had to stop by because I'm dog sitting and there's a hot tub. It means I need a joint to smoke. Yeah, so we're gonna do like a hot tub sesh. I also got cut from work early today, which is, it's always so bittersweet because it's nice because I got to go to the dispensary when it was still light out. I get to go sit in the hot tub. I got a frozen pizza. Like, things could be worse, obviously. Like, I'm really excited to have this evening, but I need fucking money because I leave for my European summer a week from tomorrow, and I'm so excited. I'm so nervous, and kind of what I'm going to talk about probably while I'm in the hot tub is just like solo travel, and I'm really excited, and just like how much has changed from the first time I did my first solo trip abroad to Europe, and kind of like where I'm at like leading up to this next one, because they feel very different. I need to get the angle right so you're not just like staring at my tits. I mean, if you happen to look, it's fine. Now I imagine I can't like literally smoke on camera. I don't want to listen to that while I smoke. It's gonna give me anxiety. I feel like Glass Animals is always my favorite to smoke to. Basic, I don't give a fuck. I'm always convinced that when I'm house sitting and I'm like doing something I'm not supposed to, which I imagine would be smoking in the hot tub, because I know these people don't smoke weed. But like if I had a hot tub, prime opportunity. But also it's no different than if I was like having a glass of wine in the hot tub, right? A lot of people would beg there's a huge difference, but there shouldn't be. Okay, we're gonna hush the music because I literally can't focus. It's crazy because actually about a year ago, no, less than a year ago, I filmed a video in this like exact spot that was going to be a YouTube video. I didn't even own a camera yet, so I had it filmed on my phone, and I just never uploaded it because I was like, this is embarrassing and the quality's bad and I hate it and I hate myself. Not actually, but I don't know, I was really embarrassed, and I'm kind of glad that I've overcome this like YouTube embarrassment cringe thing, at least a little bit, just because it's really fun. It's been really fun for me to film long form content. I've talked about it in like my creating for the sake of creating videos, but I know a lot of people like in my personal life, just out there in the world, don't understand the desire to film yourself talking and posting it. And I kind of always make jokes that like the normal sane people are not the ones that like want to film themselves and post it on the internet, just because there's a level of very strangeness that comes with like talking to your camera, to me, especially in a long form content way, just because I don't know, I assume a lot of people just talk to people, but I don't want to. I talk to a camera. I've just kind of always been that way. I used to have a Finsta that I would post every thought that's ever crossed my brain. Like I was constantly recording videos of me talking, and I loved it. I would overshare to like 10 people on there. It wasn't even like my 10 best friends, and I think that was like what was so fun about it, is like it wasn't even the people that were like the closest to me that I feel like were gating all this information that they didn't need or care about. It was like kind of random people, and I think that's like why I love the internet and posting to the internet versus like confiding in a friend. I also think that like the internet just has like the potential to connect you with a community of people that think similarly to you and that have like similar life experiences, and it also connects you with people that don't relate at all and don't have similar life experiences, and like that's cool and that's grand, and that's really fun to interact with those people as long as they're not being mean, because I think sometimes people, like if they don't relate to something they see on the internet, they're mean about it, which like makes no sense, because like there's a lot of people on this planet, and we all are living very different realities. I don't know. I think if you expect to scroll the internet and relate to every single video, and if you feel the need to try and make every video relate to you or relate to, like, it's not possible. Actually just digressed for like 4 minutes about what the original point of this video was going to be. My point is I had filmed a video like after my solo trip abroad, my first ever Europe solo trip abroad last year. I went from February to April, and it was like 10 weeks, I think. And it was my first time traveling by myself, besides like within the United States. It was my second time I'd been to Europe, the continent, and I'd went in high school with my high school classmates for our Spanish class. We had like fundraised and all that to be able to go, and that was really fun. But this was like such a different experience, and I remember the first like leading up to that trip, I was so fucking anxious. Like I was crying. I was so scared. I quit my retail job, and I had no idea what to expect. I'd only planned the first 2 weeks. So I flew into Rome, and I had bought a Eurail pass. So I think I had 10 days and 2 months. I think that's the pass that I had, which I honestly think that's like such a great way to travel, especially if you are just like open to like not planning as much, if you just like want that variability. I don't necessarily think it was the most cost effective, at least the way I was using the pass. But I loved it. I thought it was great. There was times that I went to like more cities than 10, so I did use like buses, and Flixbus is great over there. I mean, all transportation honestly is really great over there. I had no problem. So I used Eurail Pass, and I just, leading up to that trip, I was so anxious about just the logistics of it. I'd never stayed in a hostel before, and I am autistic, and I've always struggled with social anxiety. In fact, that's just what I assumed my autism was just severe social anxiety that would never go away no matter how much I, like, that bitch is there to stay for life, unfortunately. I've always been told that people never, like, understand that from me. They never get that vibe, which is like cool, great. That means I mask, and that's great. Actually not great, because like masking's a trauma response. But anyways, especially the way like I talk, like a lot of times, like if I'm comfortable with someone or if I'm in a high masking situation, like I can be very friendly. I don't know why people assume I don't have social anxiety, but it's bad. So I was just nervous about walking into a hostel, being in a room with random fucking people. Like I was anxious about all of it. And to be honest with you, like I'm still anxious about that stuff, but it's less. It's a lot less. It's more like leading up to a trip, I'm not anxious about the logistics of like figuring out how to book a hostel, like how to get to a train station, how to figure out public transport. Like I know I'm capable of doing those things. In the moment, I've honestly just kind of accepted, like I am a high anxiety person. Like I'm always going to have to deal with high anxiety, and I know some people are like, don't accept that as your reality. That's my reality. That's just like how it's gonna be probably as an autistic person, especially because like you can't like therapize. I always struggle with this word, but you can't think yourself out of autism, right? So like if I go into a situation where like it's really overwhelming stimulation wise, like I can't expose myself to that enough to make me like less anxious and less overwhelmed in that situation, if that makes any sense. Like that's just how it's gonna be. I can do things to accommodate it, and I think I've kind of figured out a way that I can accommodate myself while I'm traveling, specifically while I'm alone. I find it a little bit more difficult when I'm traveling with other people, just because you're with another person. I don't know, it is a bit more difficult. I did travel with my best friend, my childhood bestie, whatever. I don't know why I said whatever, she's like my family, but like we traveled last summer to Peru and Bolivia, and honestly it was good. It was like I was nervous because like not because it was her, just because traveling with anyone, I I've had like when I traveled with my parents, like growing up, like it was just really difficult to accommodate my autism. And I mean, I didn't know I was autistic growing up, but yeah, so that made it really difficult to accommodate it. Those logistics don't quite get me anxious. This time I've talked about it in my last video, I'm like most anxious about money, just because I want to be able to have some savings left over to move when I get home, or to like figure something out. Like I can't keep doing what I'm doing, so I need some savings. I'm also just really irresponsible with my money. I keep saying I'm not gonna spend money, and then I go and buy joints, or this is like a good use of my money, but I just donate to like every GoFundMe that comes across my For You page, which is like, again, a good use of my money. I always just, I don't know, it makes me sad that I can't just like donate to all of them, and it also makes me sad that I can't donate like thousands. Like I just wish I was rich, and I think it blows my mind that like rich people like aren't just like dropping thousands on each family. Like I just genuinely don't get it. Like if I had that type of money, like I don't know, I would use it so differently than these rich fucks. This time around though, for my trip, I actually have quite a bit planned, and I'm kind of less nervous about money just because I have confirmed 2 World Packers experiences, which if you're interested, you can use my code, gives you $10 off. It's a volunteer work experience where abroad, not even abroad, there's some in the United States. I guess abroad is subjective to where you are, but website where you can find experiences that you can volunteer at, and essentially you volunteer, you don't get paid, and you get free accommodation, free food sometimes. I'm really excited because I'm going to be spending a month in Slovenia and then a month in Albania, and yeah, very excited, very excited. Slovenia is like one of my favorite countries, and actually on my last trip, on that first trip, I went to Slovenia, and I remember being like, if I didn't have a Eurail pass, I would stay here longer. So I'm really excited to get a full month there. It's very exciting. But I don't know what this video is about. I think it's more just me rambling. But it's just like crazy, the growth that I feel between my first solo trip abroad and now this is gonna be my 3rd solo trip abroad. All 3 of my solo trips abroad have been to Europe, and I hate that that's the case. Not that I hate it, because like it's also like, holy fuck, touch grass, but I feel like you see so many like travel influencers, which I'm not, but like you see people that travel like full time and they're going all over the planet. Europe is still Western society, you know, it's different than the United States, but it's not like when I went to Peru and Bolivia, like that was a very different experience than traveling around Europe. And the thing is like someone with, like I said, severe anxiety and just like autism and all that stuff, like it was very difficult for me to go into the Europe trip not knowing like all of these things. And so it's actually really nice that I can get this experience of like traveling by myself, being in a different country and having all these new things, but also like I do know how the train system works, I do know how the buses work, and there's less of a language barrier. A lot of people over there like know English. I always try and know like a few words in like whatever language I'm going to. You can get by with English, just because like they all learned English in schools. They actually like prioritize language learning. I feel like our country definitely doesn't do that the same, but also I don't think it's fair, because like they use that language to talk between each other, and we don't have that same, like our country's like bigger than their continent. Anyways, I also like want to eventually move to a country in Europe. I think I could find myself at home there. There's so many different countries I want to go that are not anywhere like that are not on that continent. I honestly think I'm just like not, I don't know. I don't want to like scare off solo travelers, because I think like people are very capable, and you're more capable than you think. And there's ways, like even as someone that has like mental health disabilities, like I am able to accommodate myself while I'm traveling. And obviously I don't like giving blanket advice when it comes to that, because everyone is so different. I feel like I'm just like not ready And I just, also those plane tickets are more expensive in my experience, like to go to like Thailand and stuff. Like I think the dollar goes further in those countries. I hate when people say they're cheap countries, but there are countries where your dollar will go further. And I feel like in those countries, yeah, like my European summer, I could definitely use that money and go to a place where my dollar goes further. It'd be like the better use of my money. But I'm like really excited to just go back to a continent that I'm comfortable traveling in, go to like revisit countries, but also go to a couple new countries. I don't know, I'm very excited. I have friends over there. I'm really into astrocartography, and I have like a ton of placements over there, like a ton of lines. I love learning about astrocartography. I love travel, and I love astrology. They're like my two favorite things in the world, and combine them together, they make a baby. Astrocartography. If you've never looked up your birth chart, do that. If you've never looked up your astrocartography chart, it's so cool. I still am like learning about it, and I don't know, I have good placements over there, and I love the vibes. I don't know, one of my favorite things, this is kind of connected, but kind of connected to the overall arch of this video, I guess. What I'm excited for about this next trip is that I never know what's gonna happen. Like, I have these things planned, right? But the last time I went to Europe, I didn't have a single thing planned. Like, I didn't have anything booked. I flew because I had a crush on a girl. So I'm gonna overshare a story with you. July of last year, I'm like kind of accepted my sexuality. This hostel in Peru, and I'm with a group of friends, and we're about to go out to this club. This girl comes up to us and she's like, oh my god, heard you're going out to this club, like, can I join? And I was like, holy shit, immediately obsessed with her. And so we go, and she's like dancing with me, and we play beer pong, and I'm just like, I'm in awe of this woman. She's like, this guy pulls her and she starts dancing with this guy, and I feel like rage. Like, I feel so jealous. Like, I've never felt that way about a man. I feel like if a man's attention diverts to another girl, it's more of like an insecure thing, where I immediately start being like, is she prettier than me? Like, oh my, being like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not hot enough, I'm not blah blah. In that scenario with that girl and like the guy that pulled her, not once was I thinking like, was I insecure because of the man. I just like wanted her attention, and I wanted her to dance with me. Because like with men, it's always felt like if that happened, it would be more like I just want them to choose me, not because like I want them, but just because I want to feel chosen. I didn't want to feel chosen because I had chosen her. Like, I wanted her. I don't know, I think that distinction is quite important. Anyways, we go our separate ways. I'm like, I'll never see this girl again. I know she's into women, that she's like new to all of it, and I was like, me too. And so moral of the story is somehow I ended up flying to Amsterdam, and she had just moved to the Netherlands. She was originally from Switzerland, and I wanted to fly to Switzerland because I was like, I've never in my life gone to Switzerland. It's on my top of my bucket list, and I can't afford it. And I was like, this girl lives there, I should go visit her. So she moved. Cheapest flight was in Amsterdam anyways. So I stayed with her. I went all the way to Europe with nothing. I was like, if this goes well, who knows how long I'll stay. Maybe I'll move in. I'm just kidding. But like, I got there and it was fine. Like, we're friends, but like nothing romantically. But the point of the story is that I flew in, and I didn't even have my next hostel booked. Like, I had nothing booked, no transport. And I think that's also different because both times I've gone to Europe, the continent, I swear, people think that Americans are dumb calling Europe Europe, but like, you're Europe. I get there's lots of countries, like, I'm not stupid, but it's just easier to say Europe when you don't know where you're going, or if you've gone to like 10 countries. Anyways, digress again. What was I even talking about? Oh, every time I've gone has been in the off season, the shoulder season. So like, I don't want to quite wait for transport in the same way that I did last time, just because I was like booking buses like days in advance, and like, I will probably still do that, but I also understand that like it's going to be more expensive, and that really sucks. But I've also always wanted to have a European summer. I'm not going to like Italy or like the typical, I feel like where people go for European, when I think of European summer, I think of Italy, so like an Italy summer. But I don't think I'm having an Italy summer. But I personally don't care. I'm going to Spain, and I have everything booked for that. I have my hostels, I have the transport, and then I'm going to Lisbon for Pride. which I'm so excited for because this is like my first out pride. It's interesting when I say out because it's not like everyone in my entire life knows I'm out or like knows that I don't know how to figure out what label I am. That's why I don't really believe in coming out, but also I do believe in coming out because it is something, I don't know. That's like an entirely separate video. I actually made a video also last year around, it was like in August, it was like after I met this girl, and I made like a coming out video that I was gonna actually post on the internet, but then I didn't. I don't really know why I didn't. Okay, honestly, I don't know if this video has any substance. I think I say that after every video because I think I am at a stage where I just want to get shit out. I just want to share with you all. Like, my entire life, that's not true. That's not even the slightest bit true. I was gonna say my entire life I've always wanted to make YouTube videos. Not even remotely true. Just growing up, like, I just loved YouTubers, like makeup, beauty gurus, always my favorite type to watch. And I loved every time I would do my makeup, it just felt like I was like, what would I say if this was my YouTube video? Like, welcome back to my YouTube channel, like, comment, subscribe, like, you know, doing that thing where you like hold up, this is the shit, you know, like that kind of shit. Like, I loved that. And so to be at a place where I'm like comfortably posting, and I'm almost to 100 subscribers, which is so fucking cool. Like, thank you. Like, it's just like such a breath of fresh air to be able to like release long form content where I feel like the audience is way different than the people that are consuming the like little tidbits on TikTok. Both are fine for different reasons, but I love this outlet, and I love that right now I'm like in a place where I really don't care how many views it gets. Like, the point is that I'm putting it out there, and the point is that like people are perceiving something that is really vulnerable of myself, and I'm allowing myself to be seen because I hate being perceived. This is like another misconception I feel like about social media, is like it's one thing to like be vulnerable to the camera and then post online. That to me is less vulnerable than doing this if there was another person here. That is a little concerning and something I'm working on because that's not normal. Because this to me feels like a video diary. This to me feels like writing in a journal. This to me feels like Jordan Babe. In 10 years, we're gonna look back and be like, damn, wish I looked like that. Wish my tits were still that perky. Like, this is what this is to me. And then I post it because it's like, well, if I already filmed it and people online are also posting theirs, I might as well post mine too. What is it? Like, I might as well, right? I struggle with like being perceived and being seen and want to be fully myself around other people. And a lot of that's the autism, the anxiety. I'm working on it. I'm really excited this summer. Actually, my goal is to like not hide this from other people, because when I've traveled in the past, I have met a lot of people that are so anti-social media. I just think that anyone that posts on social media are like the most conceited, vapid bimbos. I don't know. I'm like, can you like be less judgmental and recognize like it is like a creative outlet for a lot of people, and even if it isn't, like, it's not that deep. Like, you consume social media, don't you? Like, I cannot stand people, like, if you are someone that is fully offline, you don't even scroll, then I think you can comment. But even then, your opinion is still just your opinion. But if you consume content and then you make fun of people that post it, it makes zero sense, because without people posting, you have nothing to consume. I rest my case. So I want to be more open with people and just be like, this is my public Instagram. I do make TikToks occasionally. And now I started making YouTube videos. I do have a blog that I haven't really posted to, even though I really want to, because I love writing. I just sometimes, that one I'm struggling still with the perception thing and just like getting myself to write. Just done a lot of hiding, and I'm kind of tired of it. Maybe someone will look at me and be like, I think it's really cool that you talk to a camera. It's really cool that you take pictures of yourself and post them on the internet. I think it's really cool that you overshare to strangers online. Maybe someone will love me for it one day, but they have to be able to see it to love me for it. and I shouldn't be ashamed for wanting to do something that I like and that brings me creative fulfillment, and life's too short to give a fuck what other people say. And I am taking all of that advice and putting it in my brain, because I tell myself that every day, and I'm telling you to the camera, you viewer, if you want to post a video, post a fucking video, because no one cares. And I'm gonna watch this back, and Jordan from the past is gonna be telling me this, and I'm gonna be like, you're right. Thanks for the words of encouragement, Jordan. I really appreciate it. Now that I've talked your ear off, and I know my average watch time is not the amount of time that I'm talking, so I know some of y'all are clicking off my videos, and that's totally valid. I would probably too, because I'm just a stranger on your screen. But if you stayed to the end, seriously, thank you so much. I love you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I love getting comments. I love getting likes. I love getting subscribers. I love people coming into my space and wanting to be here, and I really appreciate any and all support. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.